Hey everyone, I'm Kandyce.
I'm Latoya.
And I'm Sher'l.
And we are Sistas Unscripted.
We are completely unscripted, where we talk about all the things, all the shit, whatever we want, from the eyes of Black sisters.
Let's get into it.
We gonna just get right into it. So we are going to talk about online dating. I mean, I know this is going to probably be a topic for a while for us, but we're going to talk about like the highs and the lows and the hilarious mishaps. But what kind of brought on this topic today was Sher'l. Probably I would say it was a couple months ago, maybe. She was trying to play matchmaker for me. And she put a picture of me in this Facebook group, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sher'l, but you basically put a picture of me on this group, and you're more or less like filtering out, the people to see, the people that were interested and yada, yada, yada. So, so we're going to talk about that story a little bit later. But I want to get y'all's opinion on online dating. And I know, Toya, you're currently not in a situation where you would be in online dating, but like I would love to hear your outside opinion. So, and Sher'l, I already know you've done the online dating thing. So let's get into it. So who wants to go first?
Why don't you go first?
Fine, I will. It's crazy because I've been single for almost 7 years now, from when we're recording this. And it's a crazy ride. I tell people, and I think I probably mentioned this in the podcast before, but it is straight up pee-pee water out there. Like, I can't remember the comedian that's out there or that's on SNL. Like, I don't come for me, folks. I'm not really good with like celebrity names, but like I can see her face, but she's a comedian and I believe she's on SNL or was on SNL, but she was on the Drew Barrymore show and she had mentioned something like, under the lines of like, online dating is more or less, she said, I mean, these are not her exact words, but she more or less said it was trash. And she's like, what we need to do is we need to get all the people from the apps that are left over and call it what's left. And I died when I saw that because that's what it feels like. People are like, there's so many fish in the sea. And I'm like, okay, listen, it's like the fish that are like underground, like underwater, that are like way, way down low. And it's like dark and and they go, you know what I mean? So that's what it feels like. And I'm very much the type where I'm just in a part of my life where I am not into playing games or whatnot. I mean, I've never been that type, but the older I get, the less that I want to play. Well, not that I ever played games, but y'all know what I mean. I don't want to play games. And so my thing is I'm just like, I just want to get straight to the point. I'm not there to hook up. I'm not there to see how things go. I mean, yeah, you want to see how things go, but it's not, I have the mindset of like, I have the intention of finding a partner, my partner. I don't want to just, and if we end up being friends, cool, that's totally fine. But I don't want to hang out with somebody that's, has no intention of like seeing where things can go. Recently, I had a situation where I had a guy I matched with, and it didn't say where he was from. So I thought he was here in Utah. But anyway, we matched and he's like, so what are you doing here on Tinder? And I'm like, first of all, in my head, I'm like, aren't we all here for the same thing, more or less, like trying to meet people? But I left that as inside thoughts. Anyways, I had said, I'm just meeting someone. I'm getting myself back out there. And he was, said nice things about me. You're really pretty, blah, 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 whatever. And so, and he's like, I'm going to cut to the chase. I'm looking for a sugar bae. And I was like, which, no offense to those that are interested or into being sugar baes. I'm just not.
Like, what does that entail, though? Did you ask him?
Oh, he
like,
was. He
what
said
does that
he was
mean?
sugar bae, meaning like I would do things for him in a sexual way, in order for him to like pay for things.
Damn.
And I'm not into that.
Damn.
Sugar bae.
Like, I'm down for that without the
sexual
part.
stuff.
Yeah. Like,
yeah,
like we could talk, but like I keep the
I ain't
sex out
sending
of
no
it. You know what I'm saying?
No foot pictures, no like weird shit.
No, thank you. And again, no, there's no shame or shade to anybody that feels comfortable doing that. You do you, but that is not me. And so And I just said, I appreciate your honesty, but that's not something I'm interested in. And he immediately unmatched me. And I was like, oh, damn. But
Did you take offense to that? Well, like, were
no,
you
no.
kind of like offended? Did you feel rejected or like?
Oh, I think it was more like I didn't feel rejected, but like it was kind of like, oh, damn, that was quick. It was like, oh, okay. I mean, which I appreciate you're not wasting my time, but also like,
Right.
I don't know. I'm just the type of person that I'm not just gonna like unmatch somebody. Well, no, that's a lie. I think that I have unmatched people before without saying anything. So, I'll give him that. But I
No, because
think
at the
the
end of
fact
the day, like, you don't owe anything to these
right.
people and
But
vice versa.
I think what shocked me is because we still had a kind encounter. It wasn't like it wasn't weird or anything. So my thing is like I would have been like, okay, it was nice to meet you. Okay, hasta luego. You know what I'm saying? So, but
He said,
anyways,
Asta, I gotta go. See you later. Good
hasta,
luck.
I got to go.
I got to
What is
go.
who is it? Whoopi Goldberg's character is in Ghost. She's like, have a nice life, have a nice death, goodbye.
Yep. Well,
So,
I
but
will give
yeah,
him some mad props though for being very clear on what he wanted
absolutely.
and not trying to string you along or anything like that. So like kudos to that communication. I will say that.
Yeah, no, I definitely can agree with that for sure. So, which I respected, but it's I will say it did kind of make me feel a little bit like, oh, this sucks. Like this is hard, not that it's meant to be easy, but I've connected with a lot of people and a lot of them go nowhere. A lot of them will match with me and then they say nothing. And I'm like, oh, who is it? Trey Kennedy. He has these videos online where like he's a bigger comedian now, but he had videos on like where he pretended like he was dating on like Bumble and Tinder and all that stuff. And literally like one of the things was they're like, hi, my name is so and so and nice to meet you. And then like he pretends to be the person that matched him and they're just like crickets and is just looking at the screen and then they disappear. This user can no longer be found. It's like, because that's really what it is. It's a lot of that. Or you get to know somebody and like this has happened to me before where you really start getting to know somebody and things are, seem like they're going well. And then all of a sudden they're gone. It's like, okay, so there's a lot of things that, I could say about that. But I just think a lot of people on the online dating apps, they're not their intentions are not clear, or if they are clear, oh, I just don't think they're clear. And I think people aren't honest. A lot of people aren't honest, and because I've bumped into ran into a lot of guys that are like, yeah, my intent is to marry and or to find my long-term partner, and then all they say is like, oh, let's get to the bed. I'm like, I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, or some people are like, I don't want pen pals. And like, I get that. But also being a woman, I need to protect my safety. And now that I'm a mother, I have to protect their safety as well. And so I'm sorry, not sorry. But if I have to talk to you for a little while in order to feel comfortable to give you my number or to actually take this outside of the group chat, then you're going to have to wait or you can unmatch me, you know? But just say that. Anyway, Sher'l, your thoughts.
Um, it's kind of a lot. I'll try to make it quick. So I look at it from a logical perspective first, specifically in Utah, and probably anywhere. There's far more men than there are women, and so there's in that aspect. Wait. Yeah, far more men than there are women. So I feel like it's hard on whatever the sex, gender, you know what I'm saying? It's hard for whoever and anyone, regardless, right? Just because, like, looking at from a male perspective, women are getting, and I'm saying in general, women are getting a little bit more, I don't want to use the word high maintenance, but it's very stereotypical where if you can't pay for the dinner or the activity, then the woman's out. If you can't carry the conversation, the woman's out. If you can't, if you can't be flexible, the woman's out. There's a lot of checklists that guys have to follow just to gain the interest of the women that is just, in my opinion, it's probably not even worth it, because at the end of the day, they're probably likely not to have a long lasting connection. So I can see where the whole like, well, I mean, we're just humans. So at the end of the day, like, I don't want to go through all this effort because you're probably just going to leave me anyway. So like, you just down to fuck. And then, you know what I mean? But then looking from like a chick's perspective, hang on, actually not done with the dude's perspective yet. Hang on. And I don't feel like there's a lot of grace given on men's side because of it, where like, you know, we have single fathers out there that are, you know, just like single mothers are struggling to make ends meet, have to work a lot of jobs, don't necessarily have the time, and et cetera, et cetera. But then on the flip side, there's a lot of things that go on the women's perspective too, where it seems like the guy is just really only, you know, using them for their bodies, or they have to look a certain way. So there's, regardless of what way you look at it, there's a lot of pressures for everyone when it comes to online dating, and a lot of times it's just not worth it. And so at the end of the day, we're all animals and we all have needs. So it's easier to use other people to satisfy those needs, because the likelihood of said person finding their partner on online dating is not likely. That's my opinion. But that is to, on the opposite, right? I do also feel that the world is mainly filled of assholes. And a lot of those assholes are on online dating sites. And so there are those gems out there. You just have to go through like 50 fucking duds to find that one gem. And when you find that one gem, like, it makes going through those fucking 50 duds worth it. So it's I don't know, it's a toss up, right? It just depends on how much effort you want to go through. And if it's a fail, then just know that's a dud. But also on the another perspective is, if you don't have a life where you're consistently, or a lifestyle where you are consistently meeting people, like I cut hair, I'm a flight attendant, I'm consistently meeting people. So for me, it, for someone in my situation, I could see them not doing online dating because they're meeting people consistently every single day, right? But if you're not living a life where you're not consistently meeting people every day, you're just seeing the same four walls, you're seeing the same coworkers, you're seeing the same people every day, you have the same routine, and you're, you know, you want to go find your partner. How are you going to find them? You don't have a lifestyle to even have the opportunity. So you're going to have to create that opportunity. And a lot of times it's online dating, because that's the easiest thing. So,
Can I interject for a second on that?
sure.
I agree with you on that. And that's something that I've recently realized, that after doing Dream Girls, thanks to those that did come see it. If you do listen to the podcast, we appreciate y'all. And a special shout out to my girl Katrina from California, who flew all the way out from California just to see it. Was so grateful for her. Love you, girl.
Girl, you got no nails.
Oh, calling out Latoya.
Giving
I haven't,
fingertip claps.
no,
Fingertips.
I
Fingertips.
haven't even contributed to this conversation yet. So
Okay,
that's all I got right now. Bye.
But no, I can agree with you, Sher'l, on that. But after doing Dream Girls, I mean, I, like I said previous, like I've been, you know, at the time of us recording this, I've been single for almost 7 years, from my divorce, and a lot of that, you know, a lot of those years were, you know, obviously going through therapy and healing, and you know, figuring out my new lifestyle with being a single mom with you know, children, and you know, all that stuff. So, but the further away I've got from that relationship, obviously, the more open I became to small ideas of like putting myself out there. But like after doing Dream Girls, especially doing a show with an all black cast, being and I've mentioned this before, that I want to marry a black man. I that's my that's my preference. And so I realized like how much fun I had with just the cast and just people that look like me. And I realized I'm like, I need to get myself out there more. I can't just be in the house just expecting, for Prince Charming to come to my door. And I know that that's not how it works. And I want to make that clear that like I understand like I have to put in some effort. And so yeah, so I put myself on the dating apps and I wasn't seeing anything. But after doing Dream Girls, I was like, I really need to find ways to. I mean, I'm not going to be out there clubbing or anything because that's just not my thing. But I'm going to try to find events or things with like-minded people. Like for example, Latoya and I went to a couple Juneteenth events, and while I didn't meet, say, well, we met a couple of guys. That's a whole different podcast. The ones without wedding rings that were flirting and but yet not wearing their wedding rings. That's confusing as hell. But anyway, other that's another topic. But, putting myself out there was I was like, I ended up having a really good time. And so I full-heartedly agree that we have to put ourselves out there in spaces to be able to create connections with other people because if we don't, then, you know, like how do we expect to meet people and to find those connections if we're just saying, as you said, for what you said, see the same four walls every single day and the same people you work with and, just your family or whatever that is. So I agree. And that's let's put that on the record because Sherelle and I don't agree on a lot of things. Love you.
It's true. I know that as the middle sister. I had to turn down my Beyonce fan for a second, because it's hot as hell here. Um, these are my thoughts on it. I remember giving myself 2 weeks on Tinder to see if I liked it, and I haven't been back since. So, um, because I'm like, I definitely matched with a couple of people. I started talking to this one guy, and bless him, I think he was definitely looking for a booty call, and I'm not a booty call girl. Um, if that rolls with you, that's great. It's just not for me. But
Please wrap it up. Be safe. Be protected. Thank you.
yes, please, we don't need more of that nastiness out there in the world, those diseases. Anyway, but yeah, I was like, I'll give myself 2 weeks and see, if I find anybody, blah blah. Blah. This is like years ago, right? To give some time frame, but and then I remember matching with some people. Started talking to this one guy. First off, before I get to that guy, or I guess we're not in story time land yet, but like I learned a lot in those 2 weeks. I will say that I I'm not saying that those tools aren't ways of finding connection. I mean, there's been successes for years at this point now with Tinder and is it what Bumble and what's a Hinge and whatever the other ones are.
Mad.
Match, right? Match, that whole thing. Um, so I'm not trying to like dog on it or anything like that. They do work, and also I it also opens up some like I don't know. People are beautiful and people can also have their dark sides and what kind of dark sides might come out of that. And I'm just too much of a cautious person to put myself in a situation. Um, maybe it's just a me thing or a trust thing, but I guess to each their own. I guess those are my thoughts because I mean, if people are using it to find one night stand kind of connection, then okay. And if they're looking for something longer, then okay. And maybe it's just reevaluating what really is working for people and what type of outcome they're seeking. Because if you're looking for something long term and you keep getting the same kind of results in the particular tool that you're using, then perhaps maybe it's time to, you know, divert into a different direction and seeing if that works. And then if it doesn't, then the good old fashioned way of what Sher'l was talking about, getting out there, meeting people, going to events, going to gatherings and stuff to see maybe somebody You might just meet somebody that you never knew that you'd be able to meet before in unexpected places. So, but I mean, like I think to each their own. So there's success in any place. You just gotta know when to change course if you need to.
I agree. So, Sherelle, what is your female perspective since you had the male perspective?
Yeah, just as I mentioned before, there's females deal with a lot of physical aspects as far as like having to feel like they need to look a certain way, a certain body type, a certain skin complexion, like take celebrities, right? A lot of people want to look like those celebrities or like the Instagram models or the filters and whatnot. I feel like it's a lot of physical expectations put on women or like indirect expectations and stuff like that. So yeah, that's probably about it. But I also feel like that I feel like it's an equal they're equal problems. Even though I feel like I listed more with guys, I feel like women, like your body is kind of everything. If you don't feel in sync with your body, or if you don't feel like your body's accepted, it messes with your mental. And it's just kind of like we internalize it a lot. And I feel like that's a big situation in its own self for, those people that identify with those issues. So but I mean, also too, like we can break it down in categories. You have single mothers that I don't know if you feel like this can, because I mean, I hope you don't, but there are single mothers that feel a little self-conscious about their kids. Because some guys might look at their children as baggage. And then, look at the like, oh well, do you need me to be like the father to provide? And like when that's not even the case at all. So even if you break it down by categories, it has their own complications. You know what I mean? So um
Yeah, I definitely have felt that before. But most, at least a lot of the people that I've seen that I've swiped left on, a lot of them have said things like, I don't want a woman with kids. And which, that's fine. They're not my person, but I will say that does kind of put a little bit of like I don't know, it makes me a little bit self-conscious, a little bit of like, and obviously I would never trade my children for anything. So they always will come first. But it is hard sometimes thinking like, are people going to accept them? And obviously if they don't, then it's like, bye. But, but I just think too, it's unrealistic for people to think that in this day and age that people don't come with children or quote unquote, if you want to call whatever you want to call it, quote unquote baggage, like you said, Sherelle, kids or divorces, all those things. And so I think that's part of, I think on the female side, kind of like you were saying, for men, how they feel like, they have to always pay for this or do this. If they don't, then the women's like, I'm out. I think it's the same thing in a way for women. Like we get afraid of like, okay, well, if we have children, like you just gonna pop out? You can be like deuces. And again, like I said, those aren't your people. But still, it is scary putting yourself out there, especially with children, because I'm not only protecting my heart, I'm protecting two other hearts. Because at the end of the day, and I mean, this could be a whole different podcast alone, but I have to make sure that I feel safe with them, and not just that my children feel safe with them. But I think another thing that, with just online dating in general, like, and if I already mentioned this, I'm sorry, but just like the whole safety aspect. Like, I think I did mention that a little bit. I'm not just going to, I can't, me personally, I'm not just going to match with somebody on a Friday night and be like, okay, let's go to the bar. Absolutely not. That's how you end up killed. You know, I've seen the stories and the stuff on the news and all that. And I'm like, like I'm the type of person, especially on a first date, even if I've met you, well, I mean, if I don't know you that well and I've met you in person, I still would meet you in a public place and drive myself. But if I knew you really well, then that might be a different story. But it's like a case by case situation. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
dating.
I can see Candace at home being like, "What was your first name?" What's your
Girl, for
last?
real. Listen,
Hold on. You said you live on what? On what street again? What's the okay, cool. What you doing? Oh,
hmm
nothing.
and then you pop up that mugshot that says they went to jail for assault or domestic violence, and it's like, no, sir.
Speaking of, since you brought that up, some things that I would just, plug in if, for people doing online dating for safety. I definitely rely on a lot of information on truepeoplesearch.com. That's a good one. Also, like Googling their number. Well, I start with truepeoplesearch.com. And most of the time, I would say like 95% of the time, like their information comes up with their number. If the information doesn't come up with their number, then there's more digging to do. But sometimes I kind of question if they're texting me off of or if I'm using a fake, or if they're using a fake number. If they're using a fake number, then you can't find anything from the number. But truepeoplesearch.com typically pulls up with their name, their address, who they're related to, possible last names, associates, things like that, and you can kind of do your research from there. So
It's
I
true. Or you can
love
do a Google
truepeoplesearch.com.
image reverse search. I think
Yeah.
that's what it's called.
Yeah,
I've
watch an
done that.
episode of Catfish.
I've done
Should
that
figure it
so
out.
many times to the point where because I'll screenshot somebody's picture, and like, because like I think as someone that's kind of has spoken to people online, I've started to understand and pick up the signs of people that are scammers, especially when they start saying, "Hey, dear," it's like, there are
Kindly
some.
text me. Like, kindly fuck off. You ain't getting my money.
So, and usually when they're from the military. So not all cases, but a lot of the cases that I've had spammers, they're always overseas or some form of the military, or or what was the other? We'll say, "Hey dear, I've missed you, dear." But there's been so many times where I've got to know somebody a little bit, and I was like, this is starting to feel a little weird. So I will take screenshots and I will do reverse Google search, image search. And the last one, this happened probably like last year sometime. And this guy, I Googled his picture, and a different name came up on his LinkedIn, on this LinkedIn. And so, you know what I did? I screenshot that and I was like, listen, mofo, like, don't you ever message me again. Like, you were not who you say you are. Shame on you. Like taking this dude's pictures and pictures of his child, pretending to be somebody
That's
else.
That's a
why all of you people
no-no.
need to not have your
Yeah.
children on social media. Like, or well, not social media, but like social media, I feel a little type of way about it. But specifically dating profiles, you need to leave your kids
Yeah,
off your dating profiles. Guys,
absolutely.
leave your kids off of your dating profiles. Like, it's not okay.
Yeah, the
It's
amount of
not okay
children
at
I
all.
see on those profiles is actually quite frightening.
Right? And
And
then they put them
Yeah.
as their like profile picture. Like, the fuck?
yeah, no, like
Mm.
you can read my bio and know that I have kids. You don't need to see my children in my profile pictures.
Yeah, especially because like you've seen people who, um, granted I don't follow any of them, but they pop up on my algorithm sometimes where they'll take pictures on your profile that you think doesn't give identifying information, and they will find out where your kids go to school. They will find out your address. Leave your kids fucking off your fucking dating profiles. Like, protect our kids. That's wild. And I fucking hate kids, okay? Like, protect
This
the kids.
this message has been brought to you by Sistas Unscripted.
It's ridiculous to me, the amount of kids that are on profiles. Like, just leave them off there, dude. Like, it's one thing if
Seriously.
you want to go get yourself killed, that's fine. Or like put yourself in potential danger. It's another when you do it to your kids. Like, leave your kids off. Sorry. Rant, keep going.
That's solid advice. The internet is has become very sketch nowadays. So it always has been, but it's even worse now. So protecting the little ones and the young ones is vital nowadays.
Shit pisses me
Absolutely.
off.
It's number one priority for me, and and even I mean, and y'all know I have stuff with my kids online, but like I'm very, very like strategic about what I do put on there, and like Trust me, y'all know me. I do all the research and stuff. But back to kind of like the reverse image Google search. Or is that, I don't even, y'all know what I mean. So I don't know the exact wording for it, but I actually did that for someone, and I actually found their mugshot. Legit found their mugshot, and they it was due to domestic violence and assault. And I think, I don't remember what the full like what they got sentenced with, but they did serve some, like, I think, prison time.
You know
And
what?
I was like, that's scary.
This might be an unpopular opinion, but like, I'd still give him a chance, and I'm fine with that.
My thing is it's when I'm getting to know somebody, that if that's something I find out pretty quickly, and this might be unpopular opinion, and maybe, judge me, whatever people are gonna do, but like, I can't, I can't do the domestic violence or the
It
assault
makes
and all
sense
that
for
stuff.
you.
Yeah.
I
So
just think everyone deserves an opportunity to explain context, but obviously, like, context within reason. Like, if it just happened last week, like, homie, we can't be
it was
talking.
recent too. It was a
For
recent thing
sure.
within the last like year or so, and I was like, absolutely not.
But if it happened like a
Absolutely not.
long time ago, because like we know that there's, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that have allegations that are completely false, and they get charged because the legal system is fucked. So I do like to give opportunity. And if it's and even if it's if they were rightfully charged, if it's been a long time, then sure. Am I more cautious? Of course. But I feel like everyone deserves an opportunity.
Yeah, I can understand
But it's
where you're
just a
coming
different
from.
perspective. I also don't
No,
have a
for
lot to
sure.
lose, where you do.
Okay, that's fair. Yes. But also my thing is like, I was just barely getting to know this person, and I did this quick search. So obviously this wasn't anything that they told me. So I think it may be different. I think it would still turn me off. But again, you never say never. I'd definitely be open to conversation and stuff. But my first instinct, especially if it comes to stuff like that, it'd have to be
And
a
so
no for me.
recent. Yeah.
Yeah. But like I was saying, like, it was a situation where we barely even spoke a lot, and I was just like, I'm just curious. Let me see if I can find anything on this person. And that's what immediately came up. Now if we were talking for a couple months or whatnot, and that maybe it would have come out, and then, I don't know. I've never been in that situation to have to find out. So perfectly, I don't have to. But anyway, we're on topic, but we are going off topic. So, but I do want to address real fast, Sher'l, can you real fast before we go on to this situation of that story of you putting me on Facebook playing matchmaker, but can you tell the story? Remember that person that was from Chicago, that I went on a couple, or went on, I know, I think I went on one date with. We spoke quite a bit, and then he ended up ghosting me, and he was the one that you matched with on Tinder as well.
Yeah.
So can you tell us that story? Because I think that stuff, that is hilarious. I be telling people that story all the time.
Um, yeah.
I mean, I guess I
We
guess I can start, and then you can take it over,
sure.
right? Because
Yeah.
more or less, I met this guy. And we went on a date or two, and he ended up ghosting me. And of course, tell my sisters about it. And I've sent pictures and stuff like that. So she had saw him, and so Sher'l had sent me a message, and she was like, "Hey, is this the guy that ghosted you, or the guy that you were dating?" And it was his Tinder profile, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, did you guys match?" And then you took a minute to respond back, and you said, "We are now," and I was like, "Oh." And then you waited to see if he was going to say anything for a little while, because you didn't want to be the first to say anything. And then eventually he started speaking to you. So you want to wrap up that story?
Um, Obviously I'm just really protective over my family. And so um I get I'm protective over everyone for for other things, for separate reasons. But for you, Candyce, You don't have the time to like fuck around like you just mentioned. Your time is very precious. You have kids to tend to. So it's very frustrating when someone is going to take away your time from your children and your priorities. And not saying that, yeah, I think you understand what I'm saying. But anyway, and just for it to be wasted, like, get the fuck out of here. This is ridiculous. I do understand though, like, I've ghosted people. I ghost people several times. Like, it is a thing. I don't have a problem with people ghosting people. I have a problem with people ghosting my sister. That's my issue. I understand it's biased, but like, fuck off. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, so yeah, he messaged me, and then I think we were talking for a little bit. So I just don't want to come out right out the gate. And then yeah, and then I just framed into him, and I was like, I just basically framed into him. I don't remember what I said, but it wasn't pretty. And
You did tell him he was ugly, and
yeah, he's fucking ugly. Your type. Your type.
ugly.
Yeah.
To you.
Listen, that's fair. That's fair. You can add to me. That's okay. That's okay. We have opposite type, and that's great. All the uglies go for Kandyce. All the pretties can go for me. And she would say the same. All the uglies can go for Sher'l.
No, I would
All
not
the
say it like
pretties.
that.
You know what? Listen, I don't. Ugly people sometimes need to be put in their place. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm not that rude. I'm not that rude. I'm not that rude.
Damn.
Or am I? I don't know, dude. It's kind of like I'm not bringing in the P Diddy trial. I'm not gonna talk into that, but it's kind of like the P Diddy trial, where it's like, this dude is ugly as fuck. How is he pulling all these tens? You know what I mean? Like, how? And that's exactly what I thought about the dude. He's so ugly, and how is he pulling in a 10 like you? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand that. How to get your attention? That was wild to me. That was wild to me. So not only was he a piece of shit, but like, you pulled in like a dope chick and you wasted her time. Like, fuck out of here, dude. And that's my
Thank
story.
you.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Going off of that, Sher'l was playing Matchmaker again on Facebook for me. And so she was filtering out these people, and then you ended up talking to somebody that you thought might be a good fit for me. You want to talk about that a little bit? Because well, I guess no, I can kind of wrap that up. So, and you and I had been talking on the side and stuff, and so eventually got to a point where he reached out to me. And honestly, I'm the type of person, if you're going to add me on any sort of socials and I don't know who you are, I need you to send me a DM. I need to know who you are. Like, why you send me a friend request and I don't know you? And so I'd let it sit there for a minute. And then finally I was like, and I knew him because of what Sher'l had said, but I didn't know him. Him and I never had a conversation. And so anyway, I finally confirmed him. And then I think he sent me a message first. And then he more or less said, hey, I thought you weren't interested. So, I just want to let you know, I ended up, I'm talking to somebody right now. And I was basically like, well, good for you. Like, and I honestly genuinely meant that. And I told him, I said, also, I'm like, when you requested to add me, you didn't send me anything. So like, first of all, I'm a woman. I need to be cautious. I'm a woman with children. So I have to be extra cautious. Like, I don't know who you are. So like, if you're
I
not
don't
sending me a
understand why
message,
you feel like you need to explain yourself for him saying that
no,
you weren't
you're
interested.
right.
Because at
No,
the end of the day, he
you're
was the
right.
one that took forever to send the message. I
You're
gave
right.
you his socials, and so I'm not blaming him for it.
Right.
It's just just circumstances. It happened. So
Right.
I don't think you're to blame. I don't think he's to
Well,
blame. But I don't feel like you need to explain
right.
why he should why.
But I did, at the end of the day, I did explain, more or less saying like, you didn't send me a message, so I didn't know who you were. So like, he wrote me back and he's like, oh no, that makes complete sense. And then he's like, but I am, talking to somebody right now. And he's like, I don't know if it'd be weird for you, but like, if things don't work out with this chick, can I talk to you after? And I was like, are we for real right now? I didn't say that, but in my head, I'm like, but I was straight up with him, more or less just said, if I were dating you and I found out that you were talking to somebody else saying that I was your first choice and their second choice, like I wouldn't be okay with that. But also, well, he didn't tell me that I was first choice yet. I more or less just said I wouldn't be okay with you more or less already saying to somebody else, if this doesn't work out with this person, can I talk to you? I know that they're not like exclusive or anything, but like that would make me feel kind of weird, like in a way. So I don't know how you guys would feel about that. But anyway, and I more or less said, I'm not a second option. And he's like, well, to be fair, you were my first choice. And I'm like, all right, and that was more or less that. So I told, Latoya and Sher'l that. And then apparently Sher'l, so did you write him first or did he write you? Like how did that happen? No, you wrote him first and then he responded to you and then you didn't read it and you said you wanted to read it on the podcast.
I didn't say I wanted to read it. I said it could read it on the podcast.
Well, okay.
I know this is gonna fucking irritate me. That's why I decided not to read it.
Toy, what do you think about that situation? Like him saying to me, if this don't work out with this chick, can I hit you up?
I'd be done. I'd just be like, bye. I'm not a second option. I'm a first. Period. Point
Amen.
blank. Don't need it.
Thank you.
I'm already too busy in this life to be waiting for people to get it together like that. So I'm good.
Amen. Amen.
So say la vie, delete my number.
I think we live in a world full of options, so I think it's just natural that people have options.
That's fine. I just think those are inside thoughts.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that. I know that people got options. I'm just saying that's fine. You made it be known. I'm not going to wait around. And it sounds like with the language that he's saying that he wants Kandyce to wait. And she's like, no, like I also have an opinion where I'm like, if you have someone else that you want to pursue, then go pursue that. I'm good. It's not like a rude thing. It's not like a disrespect thing. It's just like, cool, you found somebody else that you want to pursue. Go do that. Delete my number. I'm good. Because even if he came back and was like, hey, I actually want to talk to you, and I'd be like, I'm good. I'm okay. But thank you so much.
I'm with you, Toy.
That makes sense.
So
that makes
sense. It has
sense.
nothing to do with like, I get it. If you have a preference or if you got time for someone else, that's great. And also it doesn't mean that I'm going to wait around for you because I have other options and also other dreams to make true. I'm not trying to wait for you.
Agreed.
That makes sense. I didn't look at it from that perspective. But no, that makes total sense. I'm biased. So I don't care that people have options, but because you act like you have options, you're putting my sister in a possibility of options, then we got problems because I'm biased and you guys are my sisters.
But I also think like what Latoya said, that's exactly how I felt. It's like you're wanting me to wait around for the possibility that you may want to start getting to know me later. No,
that's
thanks.
Fair.
No, sir. No,
that's
sir.
That's fair. I think, but just to finish my thought, I don't, separate from your guys' perspective, I don't find a problem with people who do have options. However, my problem is because I think we've all established I have a polyamorous mentality. So if it's not in our, if I happen to have a certain dynamic in a relationship, if it's not within the boundaries of that dynamic, then we got issues. But on the opposite, when I do find polyamory, or not polyamory, excuse me, when I do find monogamy, yes, I still feel like I have options, and mentally I probably still have my options and I'm probably keeping a mental note, but at the end of the day, I'm choosing to be with my main and I'm choosing to not pursue anything else. And I think that's really important. Anyway, I found it. Yes. Anyway.
Can I say one thing on that? Though? I think that's awesome. And I think that's still a little different, Sure. So like, meaning like, it's the waiting around for someone for the potential of like maybe seeking a connection. And I understand, like, when I was doing the whole dating thing, like I was hanging out with this one guy. We all know who he is. Probably won't know how vague I'm being though. But I was hanging out with this one guy and had a really great time and like really liked him, but like there was no definition. We weren't defining anything. We weren't like saying like I just want to focus on you. Um, the thing is, though, is that communication is always key when you are like dating other people and stuff. So you're not like, so you just know. Because then I got bamboozled to find out that he was like, I don't want a relationship. And I was like, bitch, I never asked for a relationship. I just liked hanging out with you. But then like 2 weeks later, he was in a relationship, which meant that he was hanging out with someone else, which is fine if he just was like, hey, I'm hanging out with all these other people. That's great. Then I would have been like, awesome, awesome. But don't come at me and say like you are not wanting a relationship and then 2 weeks later in a relationship. It's like it's
Just
the
be
waiting
honest.
aspect. Yeah. It's like I'm gonna keep you as like my if this doesn't work out, I'm gonna, see if this one's gonna work out. Like
That's fair.
that's what I mean, of like I'm not trying to wait around for you because I got other things that I want to be doing and pursuing. And that relationships take so much time and dedication and to make it work. And then it doesn't have to be romantic. It's also platonic as well, or even those connections that you have with somebody that might turn into a romance. Um, but if you're not willing to communicate that time is being shared amongst a sea of other people, then that tells me that great, I can do the same thing. And also don't get mad at me if I end up catching feelings for this other person because we both are on the same page that I am also sharing my time and my connection energy with other folks at the same time. But I'm
Sure.
not going to sit around and wait to be an option for you, you know?
Yep.
And I feel like in this new dating world, that's like expected of people versus this a transparency of being like, hey, I like hanging out with you. I like my time with you. I'm also hanging out with this other person as well. I really like that my time with them as well. Like, cool. I have the same thing. Awesome. I like spending my time with you as well. And, I might find someone else that I might want to share that time with as well. So, and in your circumstance, Sher'l, it's like, it's already in some kind of like relationship that's already been established and bringing in someone else that also might grow um that relationship between someone else as well that is a part of like your unit of romantic intimacy connection. So I look at it just a little bit different. It does not make any sense.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense.
It just
Yeah,
goes to
and-
show like different people need different things, want different things, seek different things for them to
Exactly.
feel fulfilled in relationships. And
right. And there's
that's totally
nothing wrong
okay.
with that.
Yeah.
Just be transparent.
Exactly. That's the number one thing. Like
Exactly.
it should fall back on communication. So agreed.
Now, speaking of that communication, what's this letter say?
Oh,
What did you say something first though? I want you to read your thing first.
I just know I'm gonna get so fucking heated, and that's why I did not. I specifically put his message in a different. I archived it so I didn't get any notifications because obviously what I said was pretty aggressive.
What did you
See?
read?
Guys,
We
I
should
just
like
hang on. I'm already feeling myself getting really irritated. It's like I really need to like give me a second.
Should I do like a
breathe.
should I do like a song that's like taking it
Who
out of the
can say
archives?
Guys, like it's not like I don't know. I get like I'm such a fucking sap. And I know I say this over and
Oh.
over. I just get really protective. And it really
Oh.
fucking grinds my gears when people fuck with my family. And I don't take
Love
it
you.
very lightly. Anyway, so anyway.
Who can say?
Oh, okay. This is interesting. Okay, so I messaged him and I was like, just want to let you know you're a fucking idiot. Come at her with that. I'm seeing someone, but if it doesn't work out, can I hit you up? You should have shut your fucking mouth. Anyway, so he laughed at that. Okay. Oh gosh, he laughed at that. He sent 2 messages and deleted those messages. And he said, noted, I appreciate your honesty. Maybe in your circles not saying anything would fly, but not mine. I'm off it. She likely wouldn't have appreciated being lied to or have or like a second opinion. Neither who I'm talking to now nor your sister would deserve a man like that. I'm honest. I'd prefer not to start anything with this dishonesty. And like I told you, I'm ready and serious. Sure, dude. Not sure what the expectation was, but I wasn't going to wait months for a response. I'm surprised you advocate for that. She should have responded sooner. Everything happens for a reason. Life's good. Wish all the best.
I should have responded sooner.
Girl, and this is why I don't want to read this.
Wow. I mean, he to each their own. He has his perspective, and I'll respect that. But also, you know, don't just send somebody a friend request and expect them to be like, "Oh, who's this? Hi." You know what I mean? Like, no, that's any yeah, no. I'm the type of person that I'm not just gonna up and add anybody. You know what I mean? Especially when my personal profile is private. It's one thing on our Sistas Unscripted. Whoever wants to be added to, our followers, feel free. Love that. But my personal life is my personal life, and I keep it private for a reason. That page. So if you're a random person that I don't know, of course I'm gonna be hesitant and not be like, oh, who's this? Who's this cute guy? Who's this cute guy trying to, first of all, how cocky or conceited of me to think that somebody's trying to add me just because they want to get at me. I've never been like that. I've never thought that way. And maybe that is the way that some people think, but also, like, introduce yourself. Let's have a conversation before you just try to slide up into my circle.
And also, what is that response? I mean, he kept it diplomatic and also just like he was not invested. So it was all I think the ending of this whole moment was just a moment that it's not that deep. As they say, thank you. Next.
I'm curious if he's still following me because he was watching my stories and all that stuff for a minute. Hold on,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check. Not that it really matters, but I am curious. I'll have to check and see. But honestly, at this point, I may have actually deleted him. Actually, now I think about it. So, but he was looking at my stories for a minute. So, seeing what I was doing. I guess my question for the listeners and viewers: would you allow your sibling to play matchmaker for you? Love to hear what those comments are like.
I always play matchmaker for Kandyce. This isn't new. I've been doing this for years. I got her a match, and that shit didn't work out.
Why are you trying to do that for me? Like, what's the reason behind it?
Because I'm not gonna tell you the real reason why. But I will tell you that you don't have the time to sort out the peeps. And sometimes I do. So I'll put the feelers out and see what's going on.
Well, let's wrap it up and let's discuss our joy for the week. Sher'l, let's start with you.
All of my plane rides went fantastic.
Thank you, Jesus.
Fingers. Yes.
What about you, Toy?
Hanging out with the family. I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be nice to have all of us together. And on
What about you?
on a you know what? I'm trying to think. Oh, my joy is my coworker from maternity leave. She came back, and I am super happy that she's back because that means literally I was doing her job and my job, and then this week, our manager our managers went out on a conference. And so I was taking care of my job, training her, and then taking care of the other two HR managers that were out. I was taking care of a lot of their stuff too. So I was literally doing 4 people's job in one. So I'm grateful that she's back. And also, one more thing. We got our Beyonce tickets. Who run the world, girls? And Sher'l's
It's
looking at us all
true.
crazy. But I cannot wait because I got my outfit for the Cowboy Carter concert. I got me a cowboy hat. I'm so excited. So, but yeah, that's my joy. That's my joy.
Did you want me to pull the whole Beyonce meme?
When she won the
How
Cowboy
awesome.
Carter, when she won Best Country Album of the Year or something like that.
Y'all, some country homie, but not even a homie.
Well, I think I know what you're
You
talking
saw
about.
that the white dude who just I guess got arrested or whatever, saying some shit
He
about
did?
Beyonce's album. I guess.
He said it was like
And
trash or something like that.
yeah, and then I usually don't comment sometimes on in the world of the social media world, but I did this time, and I was just like, keep crashing out. She don't care what you think. There's like 700 people liked it. I was like, dang. I guess the voice of the people for right now. Anyway,
Well, you know what?
it's-
Also, it's like, do you know how much money she's making off of this tour? Like, she's breaking records. Like, she don't care about your little
yes.
self. She don't care
No,
about
she
you. Like,
don't.
so many people are worried about what Beyonce's doing. It's like, can you just please worry? Can you please call your
Right?
representatives and your senators and all that stuff and
Right?
worry about them? Thank you.
Yes. Can you do that? Put your energy in that instead. Thank you very much. Because I can multitask. Okay. Obviously, you're still crashing out on that album, and I need y'all to get it together. All right. Also, if you think you could do better, then I want to hear your album. I want to hear you
That
sing.
part.
I can't wait to hear your album. Probably the doo doots and the poop poops.
Not the doo doo to the poo poops.
You know, that's what it's going to sound like, doo doo juice.
She said
It's
what she said.
I said what I said. My dear friend and like basically a little bro, Chris, and I, when we go out and around and we look at people and be like, ooh, I bet you drink that doo-doo juice. Yeah. You know, it's an inside joke.
Shout out to Chris. We love you.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Thank you so much for coming to another episode of Sistas Unscripted. We are so happy that you joined us for another episode. We would love it if you guys could leave us a 5-star review. It helps us boost out our content so that we can reach more of our awesome people like you. You can follow us on all of our socials at Sistas Unscripted, not sisters, Sistas, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, pretty much all the things, YouTube. But we would love to have you guys. We love you guys and all of our followers.
Do we
Seriously, we do. Maybe Sher'l doesn't, but
I'm
Latoya and I
just
do.
kidding. I do.
Yeah, of course she
I
is. We do
think.
love you guys. And don't forget to, text us and send us voicemails if you would like to reach out to us that way. We will put our number in the podcast description. So, but we are super happy that y'all are here and ride for us. We love y'all. Until we see y'all again.
Yeah.
Sisters. Out.
Out.